North Carolina's campuses, celebrated for their vibrant student life and academic excellence, are often seen as safe havens where young adults can learn, grow, and build lifelong friendships. From the bustling walkways lined with ancient oaks to the laughter echoing across green lawns, these schools are meant to be places of opportunity and promise. But beneath the surface, a disturbing reality is unfolding, a surge in campus assaults that has left students, parents, and faculty deeply concerned. The sense of security that once defined these institutions is being eroded by a wave of incidents that too often go unseen and unaddressed. Recent data reveals a sharp increase in reported assaults across North Carolina's colleges, but experts caution that these numbers only scratch the surface. Many cases remain unreported, hidden by fear, shame, or a lack of trust in the system. The true scope of the problem is likely far greater than official statistics suggest. These aren't just numbers on a page, they represent real people whose lives have been upended. For every statistic, there is a student whose dreams have been derailed, whose sense of safety has been shattered, and whose college experience has been forever changed. The roots of this crisis are complex and deeply embedded in campus culture. Social gatherings, parties, and the pressures of fitting in can create environments where boundaries are blurred and risks are heightened. Peer pressure and the desire to belong can sometimes lead to dangerous situations. At the same time, a culture of silence and denial can make it difficult for victims to come forward. Too often, institutions struggle to protect their most vulnerable, leaving survivors feeling isolated and unsupported. No campus is immune to this epidemic. Whether it's a sprawling public university with tens of thousands of students or a small private college tucked away in a quiet town, the threat is real and pervasive. The impact ripples through entire communities, affecting not just those directly involved, but friends, families, and faculty as well. Survivors often face their trauma in silence, grappling with feelings of guilt, confusion, and fear. Many are left to navigate the aftermath alone, unsure of where to turn for help or how to begin healing. Meanwhile, campus communities are left struggling to find the right balance between prevention, support, and accountability. Administrators, student leaders, and law enforcement are all searching for solutions, but progress can be slow and uneven. One recent party, one night of terror, and one arrest have brought this crisis into painful focus, forcing everyone to confront the harsh reality. The aftermath of such incidents lingers long after the headlines fade. The emotional scars, the questions about what could have been done differently, and the urgent calls for change remain. Behind every number is a human story, a student, a friend, a future forever altered. The fight for safer campuses is ongoing, and it demands the attention, compassion, and action of us all. Only by acknowledging the depth of the problem can we hope to create lasting change and restore a sense of safety and hope to North Carolina's campuses. On July 11th, Chapel Hill students gathered for a summer party, eager to unwind. Sarah, a student, arrived with friends, expecting a night of fun and connection. The house was packed, the music loud, and the atmosphere felt safe, at first. As the night wore on, the crowd grew and strangers filled the rooms. Sarah became separated from her friends, overwhelmed by the chaos. Alone, she was approached by a man calling himself Mark, who tried to engage her despite her discomfort. His persistence quickly turned unsettling, and Sarah's sense of safety evaporated. The party's energy shifted from carefree to threatening. In the confusion, Sarah found herself trapped in a situation spiraling out of control. Mark's advances escalated, and Sarah's attempts to escape were blocked at every turn. He isolated her in a dim hallway, using the noise and crowd as cover. Sarah told him to leave her alone, but he ignored her pleas. The encounter crossed from discomfort to outright aggression. The party's chaos masked her calls for help, leaving her vulnerable. In that secluded hallway, Mark assaulted Sarah. When it was over, he vanished into the crowd, leaving Sarah alone and traumatized. The party continued, oblivious to the violence that had just occurred. For Sarah, a night meant for celebration became a nightmare. Her ordeal was invisible to those just a few steps away. In shock, Sarah escaped the house and called her closest friend, struggling to explain what happened. Her friend found her outside, immediately recognizing the severity of the situation. Together, they called 911, and a calm dispatcher guided them through the next steps. As they waited, Sarah tried to recall details about her attacker, his appearance, his name, anything that could help. The arrival of police finally brought the party to a halt. Officers treated Sarah with care, listening to her account and ensuring her safety. They secured the scene and called for medical support. The investigation began, turning a chaotic party into a crime scene. For Sarah, it was the first step toward reclaiming control. Within minutes of the first emergency call, police vehicles arrived at the scene, their lights flashing in the darkness. Officers moved quickly and decisively, establishing a secure perimeter around the house to ensure no one could leave or enter without their knowledge. The party, which had been filled with music and laughter only moments before, was brought to an abrupt halt as law enforcement took control of the situation. Their presence was both commanding and reassuring, signaling to everyone present that help had arrived and order would be restored. Officers immediately focused on the well-being of those affected, especially Sarah, who was visibly shaken and in need of support. A compassionate officer stayed by her side, offering comfort and making sure she felt safe, while paramedics checked her for injuries. The police's sensitivity in handling Sarah's distress was evident, as they prioritized her emotional and physical needs above all else. Meanwhile, detectives began the painstaking process of interviewing everyone present. They spoke with party guests, the hosts, and anyone who might have witnessed the events leading up to the incident. Each account was carefully documented as detectives worked to piece together a clear timeline of what had happened that night. Some guests, still in shock, recounted seeing Mark act aggressively earlier in the evening. Their memories, though fragmented by the chaos, provided crucial details that would help investigators understand the dynamics at play. Several witnesses remembered seeing Mark and Sarah together, noting the tension between them. These observations became key pieces of the puzzle, helping police narrow down their list of suspects. Forensic teams moved methodically through the house, collecting evidence from the hallway and other areas where the incident may have occurred. Every detail was scrutinized, from fingerprints on doorknobs to stray pieces of clothing, as investigators searched for anything that could link a suspect to the crime. Using flashlights and specialized equipment, they searched for even the smallest clue, anything that might help identify the person responsible. Their meticulous approach underscored the seriousness with which they treated the case. In addition to physical evidence, investigators turned to digital sources. They combed through social media posts, looking for photos, videos, or messages that might shed light on the events of the night. Officers reviewed videos taken by partygoers, hoping to spot something others had missed, a suspicious interaction, a heated exchange, or a glimpse of the suspect. As evidence mounted, a composite description of the suspect was created. Police artists worked with witnesses to develop a sketch, while investigators compiled a detailed profile based on all available information. This information was quickly shared with the public through wanted posters and digital bulletins, enlisting the community's help in identifying the suspect. The police held a press conference, urging anyone with information to come forward. Their message was clear: the investigation was a top priority, and community cooperation was essential. Behind the scenes, detectives worked tirelessly, combining traditional investigative techniques with cutting-edge digital forensics. Every lead was pursued, every piece of evidence analyzed, as the team worked around the clock. The community watched anxiously, following updates on the news and social media, united in their hope for justice and a swift resolution to the case. The rapid, coordinated response from law enforcement sent a powerful message. Campus violence would not be tolerated, and every resource would be used to protect students and bring those responsible to justice. The investigation took a dramatic turn when a seemingly ordinary student party video filmed on a phone revealed something extraordinary. In the background, almost hidden among the crowd, was a brief glimpse of the suspect. What started as a night of celebration became a crucial piece of evidence thanks to the vigilance of students who shared the footage with authorities. Police meticulously combed through the video, using advanced facial recognition software to enhance the blurry image. After hours of analysis, they identified a 22-year-old man from a neighboring county, someone who had never before been on their radar. The technology, combined with sharp investigative work, made the breakthrough possible. Acting swiftly, law enforcement tracked down the suspect. He was arrested late at night, handcuffed, and escorted to a waiting police car. The charges were serious: sexual assault, a crime that had left the campus community reeling. News of the arrest spread quickly across campus. For many students, it brought a sense of relief and a glimmer of hope. Sarah, at the center of the case, finally felt that justice might be within reach. Friends and classmates rallied around her, offering support and solidarity. The case became a powerful example of what can happen when technology and community cooperation come together. Police credited the breakthrough to the students who came forward, and to the digital tools that made identification possible. It was a moment that underscored the importance of vigilance and collaboration, but relief quickly turned to action. Student groups organized rallies and protests demanding that the university take stronger steps to ensure campus safety. They called for better lighting, more security patrols, and transparent reporting of incidents. The arrest sparked campus-wide conversations about prevention, intervention, and the need for a cultural shift. Town hall meetings and forums brought students, faculty, and administrators together to discuss how to create a safer environment for everyone. For many, the incident was not just about seeking closure, but about igniting real change. Student activists began organizing campaigns, putting up posters, and brainstorming new ways to address the root causes of campus violence. The community was forced to confront uncomfortable truths about the social dynamics and power structures that can enable such crimes. Honest conversations began to take place, with students reflecting on how to support one another and hold each other accountable. United by a shared determination, students and advocates vowed to keep pushing for a safer, more transparent campus culture, one where everyone feels protected, heard, and empowered to speak out. The Chapel Hill assault reignited North Carolina's debate over campus safety and transparency. Advocates have long pushed for public disclosure of disciplinary actions in sexual assault cases. A 2020 Supreme Court ruling required universities to release names and outcomes for students found responsible. This was seen as a victory for accountability, but also sparked concerns about privacy and due process. Some argue public scrutiny deters misconduct, while others fear lifelong stigma for those involved. The tension between transparency and privacy has set the stage for a new legislative battle. The fight over how much the public should know is far from settled. In 2025, Senate Bill 412, the Protect Campus Survivors Act, was introduced, aiming to reverse the transparency law. Supporters say it protects privacy and encourages reporting. Critics argue it hides dangers and shields institutions. The bill has sparked fierce debate among students, advocates, and lawmakers. Opponents warn it could return campuses to an era of secrecy, undermining trust and safety. The Chapel Hill case has intensified the debate, with both sides using it to bolster their arguments. The outcome will shape how sexual assault is handled on North Carolina campuses for years to come. The stakes for student safety and justice have never been higher. The Chapel Hill assault is a call to action for everyone: students, faculty, parents, and community members. Creating safe campuses requires vigilance, bystander intervention, and a culture that supports survivors. Legislative debates like the Protect Campus Survivors Act demand our attention and advocacy. Universities must provide education, support, and transparent processes to hold perpetrators accountable. Justice shouldn't depend on luck or technology, it should be built into the system. We must empower survivors to come forward and ensure every report is taken seriously. The journey to safer campuses is long, but it starts with honest conversations and collective action. Let this story be a catalyst for vigilance, advocacy, and lasting change.